Well, it is Friday, which means it's time for Fine Arts Friday. This week, it's a show you ought to know. Jagged Little Pill will be at the Peace Center later this month. And whether or not you're a fan of theater or Alanis Morissette, I promise it's a show you don't want to miss. And joining me now is Dylan Klenna, who plays Nick Healy. Thanks so much for joining us on Midday, Dylan.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So for starters, for those who have never heard of the show, what can we expect from Jagged Little Pill?
Jagged Little Pill is about a Connecticut family called the Healys, the Healy family. And to the common eye, they seem like a normal, overachieving family. But as you look inside and peel back the banana of what happens behind closed doors, you start to realize that these people have flaws like everyone and are all different in their own ways. And we go down this story that leads to hope and openness and creating a better future together as people.
Yeah, the show definitely touches on some hard and serious topics. As a cast, how do you approach those moments every night?
I think we just do it together and just receive openly. I mean, every place that we go to is so different and people receive the show differently. So that in itself makes the story new and fresh every single time. So we just kind of hold on and hope that the story that we're portraying is noticed and seen and believed and loved. So yeah.
And even though you tackle some tough topics, I love what you said before about how, as an audience, you kind of leave feeling hopeful. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I mean, the story goes through so many different issues that we go through today in our country, and so dealing with all that, I mean, we do push forward and kind of just figure that out and keep going. And yeah, it does leave the audience feeling hopeful and as long as the audience has learned something from our experience, then I mean that's what we try to portray as much as possible.
Absolutely. Well, your character Nick struggles with some of the expectations set for him, which I think so many of us can relate to. And this role is kind of all in the family because you've originated Nick on tour.
Yeah.
Your brother Derek originated the role on Broadway. How cool is it for you to get to share this experience with him?
Oh, it's so awesome. I mean, we the day that I booked the tour, we had dinner and we talked about everything that the show had to offer. And he was like, you know what? Like it takes one thing to kind of propel you into this industry. And he's like, now you're a part of it. And I was like, wow, that's crazy being someone who's performed my whole life and finally getting to this spot where I'm getting to share what I love to do with the country and like get to just go everywhere. It's been great. And I get to wear his shoes that he wore on Broadway. And that's kind of something that we get to share. And I love that. And I think that this is such a once in a lifetime opportunity. And so I'm just like soaking it all in as much as possible.
Oh, how cool. You're literally stepping into your brother's shoes there. Well, speaking of expectations, did you ever feel like there were expectations to perform the same way your brother did? Or have you really been able to get creative and make Nick your own?
Well, I mean, honestly, we're 7 years apart, so there's already like this generational difference just growing up. So I looked at Nick from a different perspective, I feel like since the beginning. And so because of that, I mean, I'm doing something different, but also paying homage to what's been done before. So it's great. I love it. And his guidance and his inspiration has been the best. And to have this has been great.
Well, somebody who has siblings myself, I'm sure your mom loves this moment for you guys. But we do have to
Oh
talk a
no,
little.
she is
Go ahead.
always coming to the show. She is everywhere. She comes to the show a lot, and I mean she watched us grow up performing all the time, and so now that we're out of the house and performing around the world and in New York, I mean she's trying to get to every place as much as possible.
Absolutely, trying to be in all places at once.
My family's the best.
Sweet.
I love them.
Well, we do talk a little bit about Alanis Morissette, right? The show features her songs and a couple new ones she wrote for the musical. Do you have a favorite number?
I mean, I love the opening. I love Wake Up. I love You Learn, just because of the fact that we're all on stage together. I mean, there's not many parts in the show where everyone is on stage at the same time because there's so many storylines going on and all that. So to have those moments where we're all connected on stage and together and sharing the same story, those parts are the ones that are meaningful to me. But I love You Ought to Know. I mean, come on, who can't love You Ought to Know and Hand in My Pocket, those great ones as well. And Singing Perfect is probably it's very rewarding. I love that song, and to get to sing it is every night is awesome.
Absolutely. Well, Dylan, we cannot wait to have you and the cast in Greenville. Thank you so much for taking the time this morning to chat with us. Jagged Little Pill will be at the Peace Center May 23rd through the 28th. Tickets start at $35. Of course, for more information on the show, you can head to foxcarolina.com.